Vandeham Shri Guru Juta Padakamalam Shri Gurum
Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome back to the 74th episode of Paripraśna, a weekly podcast wherein we discuss systematically the king of all scriptures, Srimad Bhagavatam. So, as you are already aware, we are discussing the fifth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and this canto has 26 chapters. So, primarily, this can be broadly classified into two sections. So, the first section is chapters 1 to chapter 15, which talks about the amazing, the glorious descendants of Maharaja Priyavrata. So, here we just have one more chapter, that is chapter 15, which we will try and finish off today. We'll breeze through it. And the second section is a very, very interesting subject, and that is Vedic cosmology from chapter 16 to chapter 26. So today we will get into the thick of Vedic cosmology. So our intention is to try and cover three chapters. So chapter 15 is called The Glories of the Descendants of King Priyavrata. And then chapter 16 is titled A Description of Jambudvipa. And then chapter 17 talks about the descent of the river Ganges. So whether it is genealogy, embryology, or cosmology, whatever ology, we have the expert guidance of His Holiness Bhakti Padma Prachara Swami Maharaj to help us dive into the deep layers of these topics and then pick up all these wonderful lessons and insights. So without further ado, let us go ahead and continue to inquire and learn from His Holiness. So Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
So Maharaj, this chapter number 15 talks about the descendants of Priyavrata. It's a short chapter, but however, there are a lot of different kings who are being mentioned. But in the interest of time, I'm not going to get into all of them. But however, in this whole chapter, two descendants are prominently described, that is King Gaya and King Viraja. So if you can emphasize briefly about these two, then we will get into the cosmology, Maharaj.
King Gaya is a portion of Lord Vishnu. He is a saintly king. And he appeared for protecting the universe. And he manifested all the symptoms of a great personality, of having great knowledge. So, King Gaya is a Shakti Avesh avatar of the Lord. And then he manifested actually how to get over the false conception of I and mine.
Okay.
And he had a pure mind, and then he taught to the entire world the process of bhakti, and realized the Supreme Lord by protecting dharma. So the Puranas glorify King Gaya in a beautiful verse, which is described in the 9th verse of the 15th chapter.
Okay.
Gayam Ripakala Pradiyati Karmabir. So it is described that what king can imitate King Gaya by his activities? Who can imitate him? You can, what to speak of being like him, you cannot even imitate him. Because only Lord can manifest such pastimes. He is learned in all the scriptures. Samagata Shri Sadadas Patisram. So he was, he attained Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. And he's been described as Sadasa Patisatam. He's the greatest of all the devotees. Among all the devotees, he is the greatest. So, so the chaste daughters of Daksha, whose blessing must come true, bathed King Gaya, who had no desire, with great satisfaction using water. The earth whose udders flowed on seeing Gaya's good qualities, which were like calf, gave all desires to the citizens. Because of the king's great qualities, King Gaya's great qualities, Mother Earth, it actually gave so much to all the citizens profusely.
Mm.
So, um, so this is how Gaya has been described.
Okay.
Many verses talk about King Gaya.
Mhm.
Yes.
Anything about King Viraja Maharaj? The chapter ends with this particular king.
King Viraja, he had hundreds who had produced 100 sons.
Uh-huh.
He says he decorated the dynasty of Priyavrata just as Lord Vishnu decorates the Devatas.
Mm.
So Viraja is also just one shloka is describing about Viraja, who is like the last of the kings, the
Mm.
famous of the kings
Mm.
in the dynasty of Priyavrata.
Okay.
So these kings in this dynasty, they are all glorified. Just by chanting the name of these kings, one gets purified.
Mm.
That is why dynasty matters a lot.
Mm. Okay. So Maharaj, definitely, as you said, it's a glorious dynasty. This whole canto started with Priyavrata Maharaj coming back to rule, and then his son Agnidra's son Nabhi's son Rishabhadeva's eldest son Bharata, then Bharata's 3 lifetimes we discussed, and now this last chapter, 15th chapter, discusses about a whole lot of descendants. So any key takeaway from this wonderful lineage of Maharaja Priyavrata?
Takeaway when you say I've already concluded saying that lineage matters a lot
Mm-hmm.
because even in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says to Arjuna that you are Bharata, Kaunteya. There, Srila Prabhupada, the purport, he says, taking birth in a great lineage means great responsibility.
Yes.
So they are born to take up great responsibilities.
Mm.
Abhijadasya Bharata, Krishna talks about those who are having good qualities. They are born with those good qualities.
Mm-hmm.
So birth in a great family,
Mm-hmm.
it it actually talks about their good qualities, and because they are born in a great family, definitely they have great responsibility.
Okay, okay. Wonderful, Maharaj. So now we are switching gears and getting into the Vedic cosmology, the second major section of this canto. So chapter 16 is described as a description of Jambudvipa, so text 1. And most of these shlokas are Gadya prose form. I think I will not chant the Sanskrit, I'll just get into the translation. So, verse 1 translation. King Parikshit said to Shukadeva Goswami, O Brahmana, you have already informed me that the radius of Bhumandala extends as far as the sun spreads its light and heat, and as far as the moon and all the stars can be seen. Text 2. My dear Lord, the rolling wheels of Maharaja Priyavrata's chariot created 7 ditches in which the 7 oceans came into existence. Because of these 7 oceans, Bhumandala is divided into 7 islands. You have given a very general description of their measurement, names, and characteristics. Now I wish to know of them in detail. Kindly fulfill my desire. So, Maharaj, pausing here, first of all, I am in great admiration of Parikshit. What a fantastic listener he is, and what amazing questions he asks. So, actually, this topic was covered in the very first chapter of this chapter. So, he has very eagerly, patiently, enthusiastically heard the 15 chapters, and now he is catching on to that point of Maharaj Priyavrata, how he created these 7 islands and 7 oceans, and he wants to know that in detail. But keeping that aside, my question here is a man, a devotee, who has just 7 days at his disposal, he's about to leave his body. So he does not have the luxury of time to discuss about so many different topics. So he's going to be very, very careful in the kind of topics that he wants to hear in these 7 days. So, in such limited time, why would he want to know about an unlimited topic like the universal structure, the cosmology, and all these measurements and details?
Parikshit Maharaj, when he was hearing Krishna Katha from Sukadeva Goswami, there are many people who are in the sabha, in that arena.
Mhm.
So certain questions um, were asked by Parikshit Maharaj, keeping them in mind,
Okay.
not for himself,
Mhm.
but he asked for those people who are Mishra Bhaktas.
Mhm.
They are Jnana Mishra Bhaktas and Yoga Mishra Bhaktas
Mhm.
and Bhakti Mishra Yogis and Bhakti Mishra Jnanis. So there are some people who are Jnanis and Yogis.
Mhm.
For those people, they have they cannot comprehend the spiritual form of the Lord.
Okay.
So this material world is nothing but the body of the Lord. So by describing the body of the Lord, material body of the Lord,
Mhm.
they will have the concept of the greatness of the Lord. So Parikshit Maharaj is asking that question, keeping them in mind.
Mhm.
He wanted to drink the beautiful pastimes of Krishna,
Mhm.
but uh, because others are also there, he wanted them also to come to the platform of hearing, uh, getting taste to hear directly the spiritual form and spiritual pastimes of Krishna.
Mhm.
So this actually is a compassion of Parikshit Maharaj. Like you
Mhm.
told, he was at the just at 7 days.
Yes.
So even in that situation, also he was thinking of how to bring people to platform of total Krishna consciousness, direct pure devotional service.
Mhm. Very nice, Maharaj. So, catching on to that, if somebody who is listening to this podcast or reading through Bhagavatam, this particular section, if they say, but well, I am not a Mishra Bhakta, I'm not a Jnana Mishra Bhakta, Yoga Mishra Bhakta, or Bhakti Mishra, any combination, they may say, I'm on Bhakti Marga, I'm into Krishna consciousness. So, let me just skip this section and let me just get to the nectar, like you said, 10th canto. So, how to let those readers or listeners know that this is not just geography, but this is also theology. This is in connection to Krishna.
This is when a devotee hears these things, then he sees it as his Krishna's vibhuti.
Mhm.
If you love Krishna, you love every aspect of Krishna.
Mhm.
It is not that I don't love this aspect, I only love that aspect. So devotee means one who loves Krishna. And this entire cosmology, this material world, is nothing but the energy of Krishna, is the vibhuti of Krishna.
Mhm.
So in both ways, for person who is diseased of material contamination, these chapters of cosmology are like medicine.
Uh-huh.
For a devotee, these chapters of cosmology are like a tonic
Mhm.
or a sweet beverage
Mhm.
because describes the vibhuti of Krishna.
Mhm.
In this way, you cannot reject saying that I am a devotee. I am not interested in all these things because Parikshit Maharaj, he himself expresses his desire that I want to know.
Right.
Anato lakshanastah sarvam vijignasyami.
Mhm.
Means I am inquiring because I have a desire to know about the oceans, the islands, and not only that, they want to know the qualities and lakshanaha, and I want to know manataha means they how long they are, what are the dimensions they are.
Mhm.
So even Parikshit Maharaj had a desire.
Mhm.
So why a desire? Because it's vibhuti. Vibhuti means energy of Krishna. This world is the energy of Krishna.
Mhm.
Even you may go deeper into the subject of how the Aishwarya of the Lord increases one's Madhurima towards
Mhm.
Krishna.
Mhm.
The perfect example is that of Jayadeva Goswami's Gita Govindam. Gita Govindam is actually talking about Radha Krishna's very intimate. pastimes, pure Madhurima, Madhuri Bhakti. But the first stotra of Gita Govinda is Dashavatara stotra, talking about Narasimha. What it has got to do with it is because when you read the pastimes of Krishna and Gita Govinda, you will find Krishna in the last, he falls at the feet of Radharani and begs for the mercy. Dehi padapallam udaram. Keep your feet on my head. That is what Krishna tells us. Now that Krishna who killed Hiranyakashipu in the form of Narasimha, what is he doing now? Falling at the feet of Radharani. So the understanding of Krishna's greatness in the form of Narasimha will increase the the taste of his pastime.
Yes.
So in that way also we can say that Aishwarya, though is not, devotees are not interested, because when it is seen from the perspective of increasing Madhurima, that is well taken.
Nice, very nice, Maharaj. So, Maharaj, going to the Canto 2, Chapter 10, the first two shlokas, I'll just put the first shloka first. Shri Shuka Uvacha Atra Sargo Visargascha Sthanam Poshanamutayah Manvantare Shanukatha Nirodho Muktirashrayah. So, Maharaj, the 10 topics discussed in this shloka that Shukadev Goswami is describing, you have already wonderfully taken us through Sarga and Visarga. So, Sarga was primarily discussed in Canto 2 and some parts of Canto 3 also, most of it. And then Visarga about Devahuti, Kapila, then the entire fourth canto about the other two daughters, Akuti, Prasuti, and then Uttanapada and his lineage, and then in this canto, Priyavrata and his lineage. So Sarga, Visarga, primary and secondary creation we've talked about. Now we are about to get into Sthanam. So can you please tell us what exactly is Sthanam?
Sthanam is Siddhir Vaikuntha Vijayaha, Poshanam Tadanugrahat. In the same section, we will have each word has been described, what each subject has been described in a nutshell in one line. So, Sthana has been described as Sthiti, Sthitir Vaikuntha Vijayaha. If you go to the fourth verse or the fifth verse in the same canto, you will have this thing.
Yes.
Sthitir Vaikuntha Vijayaha Poshanam Tadanugrahat.
Correct, yes.
What is the meaning of Vaikuntha Vijayaha? The same thing. How one of the names is Vaikuntha Vijayaha. How he conquers the world by his by the vastness of this world, he conquers the conscious of the people of this world. People are bewildered even by looking at the material creation, then what to speak of the spiritual creation. There is Vaikuntha Vijayaha. It's not a. So this is Vibhuti of Krishna. Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita 10th chapter, he talks about Vibhutis. Because to show that how I am the conqueror of the world by its vastness, by its majesty, by its greatness. And that is nothing but my fragment of energy. Just imagine, the inconceivable material world itself is a fragment of Krishna's. And then what about Krishna? So Vaikuntha Vijaya. So he conquers the world by the conquers the people of this world by the world itself. And this is how Krishna maintains the world, material maintenance, and there is spiritual maintenance, sixth canto. Roti Kapada Makan, how he arranges things for conditioned souls. That itself is one of the portions, one of the ways Krishna maintains people of this world.
So I was going to ask the second shloka also. Dashamasya vishuddhyartam navanam iha lakshanam varnayanti mahatmanaha shrutenarthena chanjasa. To isolate the transcendence of the summum bonum, the symptoms of the rest are described sometimes by Vedic inference, sometimes by direct explanation, and sometimes by summary explanations given by the great sages. So here Shukadev Goswami is telling how the 9 subject matters are helping us to take shelter, Ashraya, the 10th subject. But I think you kind of highlighted this. Anything else you want to add on this, Maharaj?
Nothing like that. Dashamasya Vishuddhyartham Namanami Halakshanam Varnayanti Mahatmana Hritena Jasa. Very famous two verses from the second
Yes.
canto, 10th chapter. So Vishuddhyartham means to highlight the special meaning of the 10th canto. The other 9 cantos are spoken, or other 9 subject matters are spoken.
Okay.
Like I've already given the example of
Yes.
Narasimha, who is very majesty. That is to nourish Madhurima. So that is how you should perceive all these things. That these things are nothing but uh, the whole purpose of this 5th canto or any canto of Bhagavatam is to nourish the 10th canto of Bhagavatam. That is Krishna's sweet pastimes. That is why in the Sandarbhas, Jiva Goswami, he says if the whole purpose mm, of Bhagavatam is only Krishna, why the other cantos are there? And some verses are there in Bhagavatam about a lady playing with a ball and all these things. So these things are actually of no significance, even from the material point of view, also in spiritual point of view, and material point of view also. But even those verses had to be seen from the perspective of enhancing the pastimes of Krishna.
Okay. So, Maharaj, since this is such a deep and fascinating subject, I'm taking little time to build the context before we get into the actual subject matter of Jambudvipa. So, this topic of astronomy or cosmology, this has been very fascinating for the scientists or people in general for several centuries, or maybe even 1,000, 2,000, 2,500 years. The scientists are also doing their experimentation and observation, their research on this topic. And here is Bhagavatam, which is also presenting a very nice description of Bhagavata cosmology. So, how should we? I mean, in schools and colleges, we've learned a little bit whatever they taught us. So, given all these things, as we get into this topic, how should we see Bhagavata cosmology? Is that an alternative to the current astronomical whatever is already presented, or is that a complete replacement to what is being given? So, how should we actually see this?
The fundamental difference between the Vedic cosmology and the modern cosmologists is a lack of understanding of higher dimensional space and relativity of time. They have they have reached some idea that there are higher dimensions, but they have not accepted it. And they have accepted something called relativity of time. Einstein came and talked about relativity, theory of relativity. It's only a theory for them, and very difficult to take their thought process beyond the 3 dimensions. Of course, now these days talking about experiential things in 4 dimension, in 5 dimension, and all these things, 7 dimensions. But at least they have come to an understanding the higher dimensions. But the conditioning is so strong. They see even higher dimensions with the prism of 3 dimensions. Like for example, internet. What is this? Where is it? They have internet, but which dimension does it exist? They have no idea. So lack of understanding of the higher dimensional science and the lack of understanding of the relativity of time, they fall into the trap of limiting themselves to the grossest part of the gross matter. That's the problem.
Okay. So the third verse here, spoken by Parikshit again. When the mind is fixed upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his external feature made of the material modes of nature, the gross universal form, it is brought to the platform of pure goodness. In that transcendental position, one can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva, who in his subtler form is self effulgent and beyond the modes of nature. O my Lord, please describe vividly how that form which covers the entire universe is perceived. So this Virat Rupa, the gross universal form, repeatedly, at least 5, 6 times, we have read about Virat Rupa earlier in sections. So how does meditating on Virat form and what exactly is the spiritual significance of that here in the context of Vedic cosmology, Maharaj?
The whole world is nothing but the body of Krishna.
Mm.
Though it is different from Krishna, but still it is energy of Krishna. So in this way, the Lord is beyond the modes of nature. But how can you perceive the Lord in this world? By his energy. You are the guru of all the sages. So you teach me how to see Krishna by seeing matter.
Mm.
That is the subject.
Mhm. Okay. So Shukadeva Goswami is responding here, fourth verse. The great Rishi Shukadeva Goswami said, My dear king, there is no limit to the expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead's material energy. This material world is a transformation of the material qualities Sattva Guna, Rajoguna, and Tamoguna, yet no one could possibly explain it perfectly, even in a lifetime as long as that of Brahma. No one in the material world is perfect, and an imperfect person could not describe this material universe accurately, even after continued speculation. O king, I shall nevertheless try to explain to you the principal regions such as Bhugolaka, Bhuloka, with their names, forms, measurements, and various symptoms. So, Maharaj, if nobody is perfect enough to understand, and Shukadev Goswami himself is telling, even if you lived as long as Brahma, you can still not fathom this deep subject, then why is he still making an attempt to explain, and why are we all making an attempt to learn?
Actually, Krishna is inconceivable and his potency is also inconceivable.
Mm-hmm.
So if you try to conceive of something inconceivable,
Mm-hmm.
then it is your foolishness. But
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, we cannot stop but try to conceive. That is the nature of Krishna and Krishna's energy. By doing so, we get purified.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody can completely glorify Krishna. Does that mean you will not glorify Krishna? So the Veda, the subject matter has been taken up.
Mm-hmm.
Question was asked when the Lord cannot be described, why the Veda is describing.
Mm-hmm.
That is for our purification.
Mm-hmm.
Like why karma is to be done in spite of it being having reactions. It is because karma yoginaha karma kurvanti sangam tektva atma shuddhaye. In the same way, though Krishna cannot be understood, but still you try to understand Krishna because that is for your purification. And love for Krishna, that definitely you're going to relish.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the reason.
Okay.
I'll try to give some description, some idea.
Mm-hmm.
The whole purpose of trying to understand Krishna is to understand that he cannot be understood.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Okay, so we'll get into the subject now, fifth verse. यो वायं द्वीपकुवलयकमलकोशाभ्यन्तरकोशो नियुतयोजनविशालः समवर्तुलो यथा पुष्करपत्रम्. Translation. The planetary system known as Bhumandala resembles a lotus flower, and its 7 islands resemble the whirl of that flower. The length and breadth of the island known as Jambudvipa, which is situated in the middle of the whirl, are 1 million yojanas, 8 million miles. Jambudvipa is round like the leaf of a lotus flower. So, Maharaj, for the benefit of the audience, I would like to go a little, what do you say, like the overview, Pakshi Nota. So, there are 3 Purushavataras, the plenary expansions of Krishna, that is Karano Dakshai Vishnu, Garbho Dakshai Vishnu, and Shiro Dakshai Vishnu. So Karanodakshai Vishnu, also called Mahavishnu, he is the one who actually impregnates Prakriti, and he is the one who creates this Pradhana, Mahatvatva, Ahankara in three modes, all those ingredients for creation. And simply by his exhalation from the pores of his body, innumerable universes of different sizes are coming out. So this is how the universes have come. And then this Mahavishnu enters into the Garbha, the womb of each and every universe in the form of Garbhodakshai Vishnu, and he is lying in the Garbhodaka ocean. And from his navel comes this wonderful lotus flower, and on top of that, the Swayambhu, Brahma, is born. And then in the stem of that lotus are the 14 planets, planetary systems. So in that, now here it is talked about the leaf. What did he say? He called it Pushkara Patram. So the leaf of the lotus. So the middle planet, which is called the Bhumandala or Bhuloka, the seventh one, that is the leaf of the lotus. First of all, I have a little difficulty understanding this because I thought everything was in the stem. Now he is telling Bhumandala is the Patram, the leaf. So we'll get into that. And then he is also talking about Jambudvipa here. So for that, I'm going to go back to the very first chapter where Maharaja Priyavrata created the 7 oceans and the 7 islands. So just to refresh all of our memory, it's been a while. So I'm just going to quote 2 shlokas from first chapter, 5th canto, that is shlokas 32 and 33. So the names of the islands are Jambu, Plaksha, Shalmali, Kusha, Krauncha, Shaka, and Pushkara. Each island is twice as large as the one preceding it, and each is surrounded by a liquid substance beyond which is the next island. And what are those 7 oceans in the next shloka? The 7 oceans respectively contain salt water, sugarcane juice, liquor, clarified butter, milk, emulsified yogurt, and sweet drinking water. All the islands are completely surrounded by these oceans, and each ocean is equal in breadth to the island it surrounds. Maharaja Priyavrata, the husband of Queen Barhishmati, gave sovereignty over these islands to his respective sons, namely Agnidra, Idmajihva, Yajnabahu, Hiranyareta, Grutaprishta, Medhatiti, and Vitihotra. Thus they all became kings by the order of their father. So Maharaj, there are 7 dvipas, 7 oceans, and here specifically in this chapter, Shukadev Goswami is talking about Jambudvipa, which is the first and the innermost dvipa. So many questions here, Maharaj. First of all, dvipa, we understand it's island covered by water on all sides. Is that the exact meaning? What is dvipa? And then also yojana. For those of us who don't know, everywhere it's coming yojana. So what exactly is a yojana? So please take us through this, and how come this Bhumandala is the leaf of the lotus and not within the stem?
The first thing is all these descriptions are according to the perception of the demigods.
Okay.
It is only an indication, that's all. That is why Sukadeva Goswami says, somebody has the lifespan of the demigods. In a demigod, it is very difficult to understand the transformation, the modes of nature that is this material world. But still, some description is given, some idea is given. Like if you have to, the child is asking, where is the moon? I want to see the moon, I want to see the moon. Then the mother will take the child and, so can you see the tree? Ah, yes, I can see the tree. You can see the branch? Ah, I can see this branch. Just see behind the branch, the moon is. It is not a Chandrashagopanyaya. Actually, the moon is quite far away. Tree and moon. But for the child, some description has to be given. So Sukadeva Goswami gives us some understanding.
Okay.
Now these yojanas, they're also not just, yojana means 8 miles.
Okay.
So 8 miles is like 13 kilometers. If it is say 100,000 yojanas, that means it is 100,000 means 1 lakh. 1 lakh yojanas means 8 lakh miles.
Okay.
And that means 13 lakh kilometers. Okay, even if you go 13 lakh kilometers, you will not find Jambudvipa.
Okay.
The whole thing you cannot see because these dimensions are are in a higher dimension.
Mm.
It's not in the human dimensions. It is from the demigod's point of view. These yojanas.
Mm.
Even time for an ant or a small insect which is born at 6 o'clock and dies at 10 o'clock.
Mm.
It is 100 years for that. For
Mm.
you, it is only 4 hours.
Yeah.
So it is relative.
Mm.
Now, for a person who is cycling, uh, mm, for him, uh, 10 kilometers is different from somebody who is flying in the flight.
Mm.
So it is different because
Yeah.
he is in the air and he is in the ground.
Mm.
That is why sometimes the pilots they say it is a ground speed.
Mm.
The ground speed is this,
Yeah.
and there's nautical miles. Nautical speed is different.
Mm.
Yeah, it's slight difference. And the Earth is round in shape, so the speed of the ship is measured according to nautical miles, not miles.
Mm.
So even in this three-dimensional plane itself, miles is not the same. There's a difference
Mm.
between miles and nautical miles. There's a calculation for it.
Mm.
And in the air speed is different. The ground speed is different.
Mm.
So then what to speak of calculations of distance and speed and other things and time in a higher dimensional plane.
Mm.
Mm. So now when you say leaf, it is like that only.
Mm.
Just to give you an idea, that's all. When
Okay.
you say that there's a lotus stem, within that
Mm.
there are there are food planetary systems,
Mm.
uh, and there are different mandalas. And the Bhumandala is being described. Within that Bhumandala, there are dvipas. So the dvipa means they are covered by water, but it is circular, and some are
Mm.
square. So that we'll come to know in the further verses.
Okay. So literally, this lotus does exist, Maharaj. It is there.
Yeah, definitely. But it is not the lotus what you think of. It is
Oh,
a
okay.
lotus. Just imagine it's a lotus growing from the navel of Vishnu.
Yeah.
It cannot be a lotus like what you see in your pond.
Mm.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Okay, so the text sixth translation. In Jambudvipa, there are 9 divisions of land, each with a length of 9,000 yojanas, which is 72,000 miles. There are 8 mountains that mark the boundaries of these divisions and separate them nicely. So, Maharaj, correct me if I'm wrong. First question when I read this is like, why 9? So then my immediate question was, why 7 oceans, 7 islands? So my brain was thinking that I thought it was 7 islands, 7 oceans because Priyavrata had 10 sons, but 3 of them became like Rishabhadeva. So for 7 sons, he gave 7 islands. So here next Agnidra. Agnidra was given Jambudvipa. So I thought Agnidra had 9 sons. So to be fair enough, he is divided into 9 sections and gave one for one son. Is that fair enough?
Yeah, we can do that. Can think problem.
Okay. All right. Okay. So now Dvipa, you said it is something that is covered by ocean. What is a Varsha? What are these 9 Varshas? And also these 8 mountains, is it self-manifested or just like Priyavrata created the ocean, somebody created these mountains?
Hmm. Varsha means a stretch of land. So that is called Varsha. Within that one Dvipa, there are 9 Varshas.
Mm-hmm.
So these Varshas are a stretch of land divided by mountains.
Okay.
These mountains act like boundary, and
Mm-hmm.
there is no description of these mountains were created by somebody or something like that. They are
Mm-hmm.
they are there. They are the boundaries.
Okay. Okay. All right. So let us see what are these 9 Varshas. Text 7. Amidst these divisions or varshas is the varsha named Ilavrita, which is situated in the middle of the whirl of the lotus. Within Ilavrita Varsha is Sumeru mountain, which is made of gold. Sumeru mountain is like the pericarp of the lotus-like Bhumandala planetary system. The mountain's height is the same as the width of Jambudvipa, or in other words, 100,000 yojanas, which is 800,000 miles. Of that, 16,000 yojanas, 128,000 miles, are within the earth, and therefore the mountain's height above the earth is 84,000 yojanas, 672,000 miles. The mountain's width is 32,000 yojanas, 256,000 miles at its summit, and 16,000 yojana at its base. So, a lot of numbers and measurements there. So, Maharaj, to our limited understanding, the tallest mountain currently in the world is Mount Everest, which is 8,468 some meters. So, which is roughly 8.5 kilometers, which is 5.5 miles. So, it's very difficult for us from this perspective to wrap our limited understanding over a mountain like Sumeru, which is 800,000 miles. So, whereas some Mount Everest is not even one yojana.
Who named it Mount Everest?
I don't know.
What was its name before Everest climbed the Everest?
Oh, Everest climbed the Everest. Okay.
So, was Mount Everest not exist before he climbed it?
It definitely
It
must
is
have.
just only for the theoretical purpose, the highest. And
Mhm.
later on, they'll find something else and then say that's highest.
Mhm.
Ultimately, it is all just from the perspective of an ant looking at some uh, aircraft.
Mhm.
And the ant even doesn't know. For example, you have an ant in an aircraft.
Mhm.
What idea does it have?
Yeah.
Does it have any idea where it is going, which country it is in? No idea.
No.
So it's for it is like that. For ant, it is only maybe one laddu and find out and climbing. Oh, Mount Everest.
Mhm.
In aircraft, you have this one laddu in an ant. It is thinking, oh, I went around the globe.
Mhm.
Oh, I climbed this bundi or something like that.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's in his own world. But it doesn't mean it's in small dabba within the dabba. The dabba it's in a bag and it's in a hole or something like that. It is flying.
Yeah.
No idea about
Mhm.
it. Like that.
Mhm. What if somebody plays the devil's advocate and does not believe? Like anybody can say any numbers, right? This is this big, this is this wide. How do we know this is all accurate? What is being shared here?
Yeah, that's what everybody is doing. So even if the Veda says something, then what is your problem? You're also saying. Oh,
Mhm.
when the scientists say millions and billions and trillions of years back, what does it mean? There's no proof for it.
Uh-huh.
Okay, when you think you can fake, the Veda can also fake. Why
So
only
that.
you have? You have the right to fake or
Mhm.
so at least the Veda talks about frankly that it is you cannot understand it,
Mm.
but you are trying to make people understand as if you have understood.
Mm. Mm.
It's not fake because the Lord who has created this world, He is giving these dimensions.
Mm.
And even at the end of these chapters here, we'll find a verse which says, these descriptions are from the perspective of the demigods. It's
Mm.
perspective. And
Mm.
that itself shows that these dimensions are the dimensions perceived by the demigods.
Mm. How it can be perceived, Maharaj? This should be factual, right? Anybody who sees Sumeru mountain, for them, this is only measurement, isn't it?
No, not all measurements are the same
Mm.
because on the level in which dimension you exist, from that
Oh.
level you have a particular perception on that particular
Mm.
dimension.
Mm. Okay. Okay.
So, like when you are in a flying in an aircraft, from there, if you see the city, you will see a
Oh, I
particular
see.
dimension.
Okay, okay. Got it.
And you describe, oh, this is what it is.
Yeah. Okay.
And also, for example, now there is somebody behind the wall. There is a wall, somebody behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you ask me how far are they, it is actually not even 1 feet.
Yeah.
But if I had to
Mm.
go, then I had to go
Mm.
about 10 feet, cross, go open the door, go around, isn't it?
Yeah, I see.
So now what is the distance? Tell me.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you say the aerial distance, it's different.
Correct, correct.
If you see what is the meeting distance is different.
Mm. Wow. Intriguing. Okay. So we'll go further now. So just north of Ilavrita Varsha and going further northward, one after another, are three mountains named Neela, Shweta, and Shringavan. These mark the borders of the three Varshas named Ramyaka, Hiranmaya, and Kuru and separate them from one another. The width of these mountains is 2000 yojana, 16,000 miles. Lengthwise, they extend east and west to the beaches of the ocean of salt water. Going from south to north, the length of each mountain is 1/10 that of the previous mountain, but the height of them all is the same. I'll just cover the other varshas also. Text 9. Similarly, south of Ilavrita Varsha and extending from east to west are three great mountains named from north to south Nishada, Hemakuta, and Himalaya. Each of them is 10,000 yojanas, 80,000 miles high. They mark the boundaries of the three Varshas named Harivarsha, Kimpurusha Varsha, and Bharata Varsha, India. Then text 10. In the same way, west and east of Ilavrita Varsha are two great mountains named Malyavan and Gandhamadana, respectively. These two mountains, which are 2000 yojanas, 16,000 miles high, extend as far as Nila mountain in the north and Nishada in the south. They indicate the borders of Ilavrita Varsha and also the Varshas known as Ketumala and Bhadrashva. Okay. Until here, Maharaj, if you can highlight something about all these different Varshas.
We can only
Mm.
just read, go through. There's no explanation about it.
Yes.
Because east and west and understanding is totally different.
Oh.
Because in this world, we fix the direction, that is east and west. Actually, even the directions are not fixed.
Mm.
Because we are taught the sun rises in the east, but the Vedic system is, Vedic cosmology says, sun doesn't rise in the east, but wherever the sun rises, that is the east.
Oh, wow. That is something. Okay. Ah.
Yeah, because
Wow.
the sun is moving. The
Yes.
sun is moving. So if the sun is moving, the east is also moving.
Oh. Mm.
There's only one planet which is not moving, that is Dhruvaloka.
Mm. Okay. Mm.
It doesn't move, but still, that is always in the north.
Mm. Mm. Wow. Okay, so moving further. So, Maharaj, how do you want to take this? Because there are all these mountains and gardens and trees and lakes. So many things are being described, and everything is like huge, enormous.
You leave it to the audience to read them and then get bewildered.
Okay, I like that. So, overall, anything, Maharaj, the essentially what we take away from this, all these fascinating details that are being described here, it's hard to even visualize these things.
So get fascinated and bewildered. That's the only
Mm.
message.
Okay. So I'll do exactly that. So I invite our audience to please take some time to go through this whole rest of the chapter. Very, very fascinating. So kindly read them. However, the last section, Maharaj, you want to say something, Maharaj?
Yeah, I want to say something. Just have an understanding that we are on the south side of Meru. Meroho Dakshinayane, that's all.
Mm-hmm.
Jambudvipa, Jambudvipe, Bharatvarshe, Bharatakande, Meroho Dakshinayane. It's in the south of Meru.
Mm-hmm.
We're always in the south of Meru.
Okay.
The sun is moving, and we're always in the south of Meru.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. Maharaj, when we say Earth, what exactly is Earth? Bhumandala is Earth, Jambudvipa is Earth, or Bharatavarsha is Earth. When we say Earth, which one are we referring to?
When you say Bhu Mandala, you're
Hmm.
talking about Bhu Mandala, whole thing.
Uh-huh.
It is kind of a chapter that how the sun rays is
Yes.
spreading throughout the Bhu Mandala.
Mhm.
It is flat. Bhu Mandala is flat.
Mhm.
But within that, Jambu Dvipa, that is also in a different dimension. Within that, there is Bharatavarsha and there is Bhu Gola.
Mm.
What you refer is Bhu Gola. That is just one speck of the entire Bhu Mandala.
Okay.
Hmm. Yeah.
Mhm. So if I understand correctly, you're saying even Bharatavarsha is not the Earth. Within Bharatavarsha, a segment of
Yes.
that is Earth.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay. And Maharaj, this Gandhamadana Parvata, this Mandara Parvata, we've heard these things. Hanuman got Sanjeevani, Gandhamadana, Hiranyakashipu went to meditate on Mandara Parvata. Are they all the same things or these are all different?
These parvatas exist in many dimensions.
Okay.
Himalayas also exist in different dimensions.
Hmm.
This has been proved by the aviation people that if you had to go from Delhi to Moscow, it is very near,
Yeah.
but the flight doesn't directly just over it and go
Mhm.
because they are bewildered. Once you go to some space, there's higher dimensions. There are many places where, even though it is easy, it's just space, the flights cannot go.
Mhm.
They get bewildered. Even in Manas Sarovar waters, it's very bewildering
Mhm.
because there are some places in the three-dimensional space where there is connection to the higher dimensions,
Mhm.
where your GPS doesn't work.
Oh.
There are many places where GPS doesn't work.
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh,
Wow. Okay. So what you're saying is like when we say Pandavas went through Himalayas and went, this is not the Himalaya that we know. They went to some other dimension of Himalaya.
it is all, yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
this Himalayas manifesting it at the higher at three dimensions, four dimensions, higher dimensions. For example, okay, let us talk about where is your mind?
Where is my mind right now here in the podcast in Bhagavatam?
Okay, but where can you show me in one small dabba and then show
No,
this
I
is my
can't. I
mind?
can't. I can't. I can't.
Then why? Where is it then?
Mhm.
I'm talking about that
Yeah,
mind as a element. Where is it?
yeah. I don't know. It is subtle.
It is subtle. So it exists in higher dimensions. In the same
Mhm.
way, the Himalayas, the mountains, they are also existing in different dimensions.
Okay.
So what you find is only the three-dimensional aspect of Himalaya, three-dimensional aspect of Gandhavana Parvata.
Mhm. Okay. Mm.
Like Ganga.
Uh-huh.
Ganga is there, it's Swardhuni. It
Mm.
is now what you see Ganga is a three-dimensional aspect of Ganga.
Okay. Okay. Mm. Okay. So before we get to Ganga's descent, just one more thing, Maharaj. I'll just quote 28 and 29, the last two shlokas of 16th chapter. In the middle of the summit of Meru is the township of Lord Brahma. Each of its four sides is calculated to extend for 10 million yojanas, 80 million miles. It is made entirely of gold, and therefore learned scholars and sages call it Shatakaumbhi. And then last verse. Surrounding Brahmapuri in all directions are the residences of the eight principal governors of the planetary systems, beginning with King Indra. These abodes are similar to Brahmapuri but are one fourth the size. And Prabhupada is writing here Brahma's township is known as Manovati, and those of his assistants, such as Indra and Agni, are known as Amaravati, Tejovati, Samyamani, Krishnangana, Shraddhavati, Gandhavati, Mahodaya, and Yashovati. Brahmapuri is situated in the middle, and the other eight puris surround it in all directions. So we know that demigods reside in Swargaloka and Brahma resides in Satyaloka or Brahmaloka. So looks like they have other residences also on top of Mount Meru, Maharaj.
Yes. Brahma has many residences. Like you have You have your house, you have your office, your farmhouse, like that.
Mm.
Whereas one Brahma sitting on Meru
Okay.
and township of Brahma. So there is Brahma, Hiranyagarbha Brahma. For Chaturmukha Brahma is sitting on in Satyaloka.
Mm.
So we actually two Brahmas also.
Oh.
In the 10th canto of Bhagavatam, we find that how Mother Earth went to Brahma.
Mm.
Now, question came, which Brahma did she go? She went to the Brahma on Mount Meru, who is expansion of Krishna.
Mm.
Because if she had gone to Brahma, who is in Satyaloka, then at that time she would have met Raivat, King Raivata, who
Mm.
had taken Revati to Brahma to find out who is qualified husband for my daughter.
Mm.
That story is there that how
Yeah.
Brahma. Then right from the Satyuga till Krishna appeared and then Balaram and Krishna they grew up, they became kings in Dwaraka. Till that time, King Raivata was along with his daughter Revati was in Satyaloka.
Mm.
But if Mother Earth had gone there, she would have
Mm.
met.
Yeah, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So she went and met the Hiranyagarbha Brahma on Mount Meru.
Mm.
So there are two Brahmas. One is the Chaturmukha Brahma.
Okay.
One is the Brahma who is on top of Mount Meru as described in the 28th verse.
Oh, so he's not visiting here once in a while. He's actually simultaneously there. He's there also, here
Yes,
also. Oh,
yes, yes, yes.
okay, okay, okay. Very interesting, Maharaj. So, Maharaj, next is chapter 17, the descent of the river Ganges. So, Shukadev Goswami talks about how Vamana, his toenail pierced the covering of the universe and Ganga descended. So, if you can please enlighten about this, and parallelly, when did Bhagirath bringing river Ganga, both of these happen?
Bhagirath bringing Ganga happened quite later.
Okay.
The whole descent of Ganga itself is a very important subject matter, and um, uh, from the perspective of cosmology,
Mhm.
because the descent of Ganga is like descent of Krishna himself to
Oh.
purify the world.
Mm.
That is why the descent of Ganga is a very important subject matter.
Mhm.
Um, Vamana stepped over the earth with his right foot. The water which entered from outside, piercing the covering of the universe with the toe of his left foot.
Mhm.
Sometimes he left foot goes up and then pierces, sometimes the right foot pierces.
Mm.
But this time it was the left foot. And the Lord's feet are with tinted with mud, so it comes
Oh.
like that. That's actually kumkum,
Mhm.
washing. And Lakshmi keeps the feet of the Lord and massages and sometimes touches the breast where kumkum is there. So
Mm.
that is being washed by
Oh.
Ganga and it is flowing,
Mm.
which it purifies the entire world.
Mm.
Anupalakshita vacho asakshat bhagavat paditi anupalakshita vrato mahakalena. In this way, it
Mhm.
purifies everyone by just its touch, but at the same time it's pure. Uh,
Mm.
and then it is known as Bhagavat Padi. Bhagavat Padi means it is the water which is flowing from the feet of the Lord.
Mm.
And now, first, where does it come? It
Mm.
comes to Dhruvaloka.
Mm.
Dhruvaloka. And it is mixing with the tears of Dhruva.
Oh.
Dhruva is constantly meditating on Krishna and then he's feeling ecstasy. So that water is mixed with the tears of Dhruva.
Mm.
And that is how it comes to Saptarishis. All these things are described.
Mm.
And now it's interesting that we always think of Vamana's second feet only. There is no description of Vamana's. Where did he keep his first foot? Just I'm coming from South America. He kept his first foot on the Andes Mountains. It's actually
Oh.
Ananta that we discussed in South America, many places. Ramayana, Sugriva tells Vamana kept his first foot. And there is also one Ganga from top. Already waters were there, and then he kept the foot there. So any water touching the feet of the Lord becomes Ganga.
Oh, that is what you said in that video. Titikaka, Titikaka.
Yes,
Titi
yes,
Ganga.
Titikaka. It is Ganga. It is not Kaka.
Oh, it's mispronounced, is it? Titikaka.
Yes, yeah, it became Kaka. Ganga.
Okay. So Maharaj, like this, she's descending, like you said, Dhruva Loka, then all the other Loka. Then she falls on Meru and she diverges into 4 different branches and comes. So is she going all the way, like all the 14 planetary until Patala she's going?
Yes, yes. Now Ganga, Gam Gamayati Ganga. She is known as Swardhuni in the Swarga Loka. Ganga in the middle planetary systems. And then in the lower planetary system, she is known as Bhogavati.
Okay.
She purifies the entire world. Ganga, not only there are many rivers, actually all the rivers are manifestations of different levels of energies of Ganga around the world.
Wow.
There are some branches of Ganga flowing onto the northern part of Himalayas. It is to Russia.
Okay.
Some
So,
parts of Ganga fall in different places in the world. One
yes.
part of Ganga passes through entire of Africa. That is what river Nile, Neela, and that has been described as Brihat Krishna.
Yes. Okay. So Maharaj, since she had already descended by Vamana's piercing of the foot, why Bhagirath had to bring her again when she was already there?
Bhagirath brought from Swarga.
Oh.
Ganga descends from the spiritual world, that is from Viraja, it comes to Dhruvaloka. From Dhruvaloka, Saptarishis, from there Brahma, from Brahma to Swarga. And to Swarga, it planes, different airplanes. And it is very slowly, that is why she is known as Mandakini. And from Swarga, Bhagirath brought Ganga from Swarga to Bhulok.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that is when Lord Shiva had to hold her, the force which she came and all that.
Yes.
Okay. Wow, so interesting. So I'm going to skip a few verses here. Again, I encourage our viewers to please go through these sections. In the interest of time, we are skipping all these things. So Maharaj, I'm straight jumping to 11th shloka here. Among the 9 varshas, the tract of land known as Bharata Varsha is understood to be the field of fruitive activities. Learned scholars and saintly persons declare the other 8 varshas to be meant for very highly elevated pious persons. After returning from the heavenly planets, they enjoy the remaining results of their pious activities in these 8 earthly varshas. So this was another aha moment for me, Maharaj. So Bhuloka, Bhumandala itself, we think this is Karma Bhumi, where we gain karma and all that. But now it is said even in Bhumandala, in Jambudvipa, only Bharatavarsha is field of fruitive activities. But all the other 8 varshas, when they come, these pious people, actually they are enjoying. It's like Swarga.
And there are 3 kinds of Swargas. There is Divi Swarga, Bhu Swarga, and Bilva Swarga. So this description is about the Bhu Swarga. Means the Swargas, the Bhu Mandala, they are known as Bhu Swarga. And they are all present in the 8 varshas, other 8 varshas. They are known as Bhu Swarga. So those who have done some pious activities which are not so great, they go to these Swargas and come back.
Oh, so if they have a lot of pious credit, then they go to the actual Swarga Loka.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. What about other Dvipas, Maharaj, other than Jambu Dvipa? They are also like Swarga only,
They
or?
are also like Swarga.
So what is the greatness of Bharata Varsha where we are?
And that is the only place where you can go back home back to God by performance of bhakti.
Sure.
That is why the devatas, they see those in the Bharatavarsha, and then they feel that, oh, we should have taken birth here. It is so wonderful that we get the association of devotees. And here there is no there is no that kind of enjoyment where people get totally engrossed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the benefit of our audience, I'll just read a couple of shlokas, the kind of enjoyment human beings have in these 8 varshas. In these 8 varshas or tracts of land, human beings live 10,000 years according to earthly calculations. All the inhabitants are almost like demigods. They have the bodily strength of 10,000 elephants. Indeed, their bodies are as sturdy as thunderbolts. The youthful duration of their lives is very pleasing, and both men and women enjoy sexual union with great pleasure for a long time. After years of sensual pleasure, when a balance of 1 year of life remains, the wife conceives a child. Thus, the standard of pleasure for the residents of these heavenly regions is exactly like that of the human beings who lived during Treta Yuga. So that's like a teaser, so our audience can read the rest of it. So, Maharaj, quite a big chunk of this chapter later is about Lord Shiva offering his prayers to Sankarshana. So, if you can put that in perspective for us.
So in the Ilavrata Varsha, Lord Shiva is there and with Durga. And of course, there is a story which is described in the 9th canto, which talks about how Durga cursed that anybody here should be woman.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And of course, we know Lord Shiva is always having Sankarshana in the heart. And in every Varsha, there are some devotees who worship the Lord in a particular feature. Um, Hari Varsha, you have Prahlad worshipping Narasimha, like that, I suppose. I don't exactly remember. Now, here you have Lord Shiva worshipping Sankarshana by Om Namo Bhagavate Mahapurushaya Sarvaguna Sankhya Vyakta Nama iti. So by these mantras, Lord Shiva is worshipping Sankarshana because he is Aradhya Deva.
Okay. Very nice, Maharaj. Anything that I have not covered here, Maharaj, that you would like to highlight? Because I skipped a few shlokas here and there.
Oh, nothing much. These are the prayers of Lord Shiva to Sankarshana.
Okay.
In the end, he talks about the last words is very interesting. He says that the Lord is very difficult to know. How it is difficult to know? Man does not even know the material world, and what to speak of the Lord himself. But how can he know the Lord? The whole purpose of going back home, back to God, is by knowing the Lord, by bhakti. By bhakti, the Lord reveals himself. It is not by our intelligence we'll come to know. These verses of the Bhagavatam, they are not like we understand just because we have some intelligence to understand. Because we can make some posters out of it, we go deep into it and try to make everybody understand it. By repeating, this knowledge is revealed. Even material knowledge is revealed. It requires revelation, and what to speak of spiritual knowledge. Actually, even if you see the scientists, when they have this material knowledge, their revelation is a revolution. Archimedes, he tried to find out how much gold is there, and how much mixture is there. He was confused. One day, he just jumped into the bathtub, then it was revealed. It is not that he found out. He may say, Eureka, Eureka. But it was revealed to him.
Yes. Very nice conclusion, Maharaj. So ultimately, no matter which part of Bhagavatam, which canto, which subject matter, what topics we discuss, ultimately it's all coming down to bhakti, isn't it, Maharaj?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you so much, Maharaj. So we are going to switch gears and go into the Brahmastra section. So just now you were enlightening us about the Vedic cosmology, the universal structure and all that. So let us go to the past 20 days of your trip to South America, so that part of geography. So I just wanted to ask some quick rapid fire questions based on your experience, how your travel was and different things. So first question, Maharaj. So you visited about 9 to 10 cities while you were there, the floating island and all those things. So which one was your favorite among those?
When you say cities, my favorite is Cusco because
Uh-huh.
there's a big temple of Vamana. There was a big
Oh.
temple of Vamana. Of course, Vamana is there. And that temple is on Saksai Vaman.
Mm-hmm.
And for them, there is no idea what is the meaning of Saksai Vaman. It's actually Sakshat Vamana.
Oh.
Vaman, their temple is there, yes.
Mm. So you said your favorite is Cusco because there is a Vamana temple there. What about the ISKCON temples? You went to multiple ISKCON temples while you were there. Which ISKCON temple is your favorite among the ones you visited?
When you say temple or temple
Like
devotee,
centers in Arequipa and all the different
hmm,
Chosika.
yeah, very difficult. Uh, Onayako, Onayako,
Okay.
that is a very nice congregation there.
Oh.
Of course, they're all struggling
Uh,
because you just cannot discriminate between one and another. Everybody has their challenges,
mm,
and we need to appreciate. My
mm,
last the word spoken to them, immune appreciation was
mm,
that it's not easy to practice Krishna consciousness in this part of the world.
mm,
And what to speak of practicing, they are also preaching, trying to preach Krishna consciousness.
yeah.
Commendable. Just
Mm,
imagine trying to establish Sanatana Dharma in the remote corner of the world where they have no idea what is life. It is just eat
mm,
anything and do anything,
mm,
and still they're uh, pass the test of pass the test of Maya, pass the
mm,
test of time.
mm,
Years and years and years, at least they are vegetarians and
mm.
shipping Gaurnita at 4:30 in the morning in that part of the world where many
Wow.
Indians are sleeping. It's
Mm,
not
mm.
commendable.
Yes. Yes.
So every devotee in every place, it just cannot make any distinction, which
Mm,
is, yeah.
mm. Wow. Very nice. Okay. So, Maharaj, another thing was the distinction in language, right? So you were speaking in English, and for most part, you must have heard the devotees and others speaking in Spanish. Was there a certain word or phrase that you repeatedly heard in Spanish? It just stuck with you.
Pragunta
What is
means
that?
they said, Pragunta
Prahutta. Okay.
means like Prahlad said, or I want
Oh,
to say.
okay.
It repeats again and again. Uh, ma-
Okay.
yeah.
And about 25 lectures while you were there in the 20 days, and most of your lectures were getting translated in Spanish. Was that like a funny or shocking moment? Like you tried to say something and the translator said completely something different or something like that?
Because I had very good translators.
Oh.
One was Kolavija Sridhar Prabhu in, in Lima,
Mm-hmm.
and um, in Bolivia we have the GBC
Mm-hmm.
Mathuresh Prabhu. Excellent job
Mm-hmm.
because it is very difficult to translate my classes because
Mm-hmm.
they are some typical words.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's not philosophical points, especially.
Uh-huh.
It is a wonderful job
Mm-hmm.
um, because there was one line which was very difficult to translate, but it was still translated. Like I said, that the holy name not only completes the yajna, but it is complete in itself.
Mm-hmm.
And that was done so perfectly.
Wow. Yeah, nice.
So, a very, very good job.
Mm.
Most even new uh, people to Krishna, they're not even Krishna conscious.
Uh-huh.
They helped the temple in translation. They
Mm.
also did a very good job
Nice.
in translation. I
Very good.
even I find myself translating many of English lectures into Hindi.
Oh,
You have to really not only just translate the sentences, you have to get into the mood, and
correct. Yeah.
it's like a
Yeah.
music. So they did good. Maybe
Nice.
it's my karma, good karma of serving many devotees, translating in India.
Mm.
I got I got good translators.
Good,
I was
good, good.
actually really thinking like that.
Ah, very nice. Okay. So Maharaj, you met many devotees there. Is there any particular devotee that really stood out and you were really inspired by or something like that?
Really appreciate the GBC of Peru and Mathura, Mathuresh
Mm.
Prabhu.
Mm.
He is very successful businessman
Mm-hmm.
and um, replacing Jayapataka Maharaj
Oh.
is important.
Mm. Mm. Okay.
Yeah,
So Mathuresh Prabhu. Okay. And
yeah.
what do you think? Already you explained that how even in such difficult circumstances they're doing a fantastic job of not only practicing but preaching. So what do you think? One thing they're doing really well in getting Krishna consciousness spread across South America.
They are they're inspired to do something,
Mm.
but somehow caught up in just trying to maintain.
Mm. Mm.
Everybody is trying to maintain a temple.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
That's one inspiring aspect of it.
Okay.
At the same time, just to maintain the temple itself is not preaching.
Mm.
So I tried my best to get this thing out of them.
Mm.
Many of them are thinking lost hopes of really preaching.
Oh.
If they can maintain their sadhana and then maintain the
Mm.
temple,
Mm.
itself is commendable. But
Mm.
they can do a lot.
Okay. Okay. So on that note, Maharaj, you said they can do a lot. What is one thing you think they can do to improve?
Yeah, I found in Peru and Bolivia, the word yoga is very
Uh-huh.
famous. And Ayurveda is also very famous.
Oh.
They have more respect for yoga and Ayurveda than many Indians have.
Mm. Okay.
I asked one yoga teacher about gymnasiums versus yoga, which is famous. And that yoga teacher, he told me that in the past 8 years, after Modi government came,
Uh-huh.
people are shifting from gymnasium to yoga classes.
Oh, wow. Amazing.
Yes,
Nice.
they are more interested in yoga than gymnasium.
Wow.
Doing some temples and etc.
Mm.
It's a big thing.
Yeah.
And many are taking up vegetarianism
Mm-hmm.
because of yoga. It is not just yoga classes. In the
Mm.
in temple in Lima, there was one yoga teacher. The yoga teacher is not from India. He's a Peruvian yoga
Mm.
teacher, from long beard, and he was making those about 20, 25 students, make them sit, and he had a PPT with a projector, and he was explaining the chakras,
Mm.
the on the body,
Mm.
and then some slokas, Sanskrit slokas translated into Spanish from the Yoga Sutras, maybe
Mm.
or something, and some diseases which are there, how you can cure by yoga. He's
Oh,
talking.
wow.
Uh,
Mm.
so this brings them closer to Vedic understanding of Atma, Paramatma. So
Mm.
the American, South American devotees leaders can capitalize on this
Mm.
and then make them into devotees. Of course,
Nice.
it takes some kind of intelligence to hook them, but
Yes. Mm. Nice. Very nice. So, Maharaj, last week I had asked you, Maharaj, where is your danda? I was missing seeing it. Now I see it. So there were some travel stories, right? You told there is a story behind the danda, what happened, and then even while coming from South America to San Francisco, last minute while you were in the airport, it got delayed. So what is one memorable travel hiccup that happened during your travel?
Yeah, one was a surprise because once I just took the danda because and carried in India. The very first day I landed and I had to go to uh, uh, Cusco.
Uh-huh.
So I took the danda. Then in the airport, they told you cannot carry it. You have to put in the luggage. Then I put in the luggage. Okay, somehow. Then they charged me $40 because our mind is always calculating $40 multiplied by 90 rupees.
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh, so I thought, okay, this is the price I had to pay.
Mm.
I paid. Then from there, I had to catch two flights to come back.
Oh,
Then again, $40, $80. Then I had to keep it there only. So they
yeah.
sent it by the post.
Um,
But here, when I have to come out of Peru and come to America at that time,
mhm.
I thought I'll not put the danda in this thing. I'll carry it in the flight itself. I
Mm,
was crossing through the security.
mm,
So they checked it for 1 hour and then told, okay, you can take. But
mm.
they informed the airline.
Oh,
So the airlines people came and told, oh, why you did not check in there? We'll have to
mm,
check it there in the flight, put it in the hold. Told, do
mm,
whatever you want. I have to take this danda. It's my religious thing.
um,
They're trying to check how sharp it is and they check the sharpness. Okay, they thought it's okay, this much big. Their discussion, this much big is not sharp. Some people know it's sharp. They did a big research actually. 5 people were doing research on this.
that,
Mhm.
mm.
And I showed my pictures with the danda. So, yes, they saw. And one lady told like this, and then all 5 of them they ran away by seeing those pictures. Then they knew it is a religious thing. They all
Yeah.
went and then left the decision to the airlines. They
Okay.
told from security we don't have any problem.
Mm,
And when I went to the gate,
mm.
at that time Krishna sent one devotee, one lady, Hare Krishna.
Oh,
We have to keep this in the hold. I told I can carry it. I carry it in India.
mm,
India is different. I go to Vrindavan, and she
mm,
started telling about herself.
mm.
Then then I thought at least you're not charging. No problem. Take. It came perfectly all the way
Oh,
to Miami. I
mm,
collected it uh, from the belt,
mm,
special baggage belt. Then came to another area where you had to put it. And I just went and put the suitcase, gave it, and one person looking American security guard.
mm,
He was able to put in the belt. He told, no, you give it to me.
mm.
He took it, looking like this, something. I just ran away. I gave it to you. No, no, you send it. I did not want to be there so that they'll become an argument. I just ran
Yeah.
and received it in San Francisco.
Wow.
Very perfectly, no problem. It came.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wow. So many stories associated with the sannyasa danda. Interesting. So, Maharaj, next, what did you miss in the last 20 days from India while you were in South America, Peru, and Bolivia? Did you miss us at all? Please say yes.
Yeah, the Indian of I had achar and some powders and ghee
Uh-huh.
that could really get
Okay.
something inside my
Hmm. System.
tongue.
Okay. So along the same lines, my next question. Were you going to say something, Maharaj?
No, no.
So although you were managing with your achar and desi ghee and all that, of the prasadam that you did have in South America, which one did you like the most?
Yeah, quinoa soup. quinoa,
Quinoa soup.
quinoa and vegetables. They make it quite good. But only
Okay.
thing they don't put salt. You have to put the salt.
Oh.
That's all.
Mm.
It's quite tasty. Quinoa is grown there. They grow
Mm.
even earlier. They used to grow more than 1,200 varieties of quinoa,
Wow.
and I have developed some kind of affection for quinoa
Yeah.
after South American.
Yeah.
That's the place they grow.
Yeah. Yeah. Very nice. I like quinoa too. So last thing, Maharaj, what is the one realization that you have brought with you from South America that you can share with all of us?
There are so many places for the Indians to go and preach Krishna consciousness. At least encourage the devotees there.
Mm.
I was wondering who all from India can learn Spanish and then go and preach Krishna consciousness there.
Okay. Mm. Nice. So I like how compassionate you are, that you are thinking who can go from here and do something good there in preaching. Very nice. Any other takeaways from your Peru and Bolivia trip, Maharaj?
Yeah, nothing much. These are all the experiences I have.
Nice.
They require help.
Mm. Mm.
In the GBC of Bolivia, and Peru, he talked about
Mm.
see if somebody from India can help us
Mm.
in all, can adopt certain areas and
Mm.
expand preach.
Okay. Mm. Thank you so much, Maharaj, for sharing all that. It was very personal, and some parts of it was hilarious, especially related to the danda. How scary they were. I think they are valuing your danda far more. They are seeing how sharp it is and $40 and all that. So nice. So, what are you looking forward to in your next adventure, Maharaj? Now, you're in North America right now. You are in California, from where you are doing the recording today.
It's all Indians here, so it's as good as being in India.
Mm.
SrimadBhagavatam program, they're all Indian kids there,
Oh.
Indian people. So it's as good as being in India, Mumbai. Or something like that.
Mm. That kind of makes me sad because somebody has to break through here also and really reach out to the Americans. They are really nice people. I had so many colleagues and neighbors and gym mates, and so many of them while I was in America. Really nice, courteous people. But some innovative thing has to happen to break through that barrier and actually reach out to the Americans also.
Yes.
So thank you so much, Maharaj, for taking your time out and enlightening us on Vedic cosmology. So we still have several more chapters to go. Really looking forward to it. So as always, grateful, Maharaj. Thank you. So Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So we have just begun our discussion on Vedic cosmology. Don't go anywhere because we still have several chapters left, all the way from 18th to 26th chapter. So we're going to get into the details of it and all the residents of Jambudvipa offering prayers and all the nitty-gritties of the vertical and horizontal structure of the universe. So all that is coming up next Saturday. So we will see you soon. Until then, as always, stay inquisitive and stay Krishna conscious. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.